Hello there my fellow holotable heroes and welcome to another Conquest video guide. And I'll be able to find this and all my other Conquest video guides on my SWGOH Live website. If you haven't seen it yet, go and check it out. There'll be a link in the description below. Now I finished playing through all the sectors. So if you've been following my channel, you will see that yesterday I finally released Sector 5 feeds guide as well as mini boss and final boss battles. So now that I played through, I kind of have the full set of data discs ready to go. So I gave it a go, gave a bit of a testing here, playing around with different data disc combinations, and I really came up with two different data disc sets that you can use depending on the team that you're using and of course depending on what enemy you're going up against. So probably overall the best data disc set is one that uses Zealous Ambition, because without Amplify Agony we are really lacking damage when it comes to data discs. So at least Zealous Ambition can give you a nice boost for your support and healers, so they can do some big damage. However, certain teams that you will be using, they might not have good support or healer units, so you won't be able to rely on that. So I've got another data disc set that relies more on attacks out of turn, giving you stacking offense. So the first data disc set that I would call Overzealous, because you've got not one, not two, but three Zealous Ambition data disc, really juicing up the offense for you guys. Now, no matter what data disc set you will be using, I think that 45 data disc is the staple data disc in this run of Conquest, is the one that you will really need, because at the start of the battle you gain 200% defense, which will allow you to obviously, sustain first wave of attacks, and then whenever an ally is damaged, they lose 5% of defense. That's fine. However, they gain 3% turn meter, so at least you'll be able to a little bit start getting turns a bit quicker because of this data disc set. But 3% turn meter is not a whole lot. I wish this would be maybe like 15%, then it would really make a difference. And then whenever an enemy is defeated, all allies regain 50% defense, and this is nice, but mostly having 200% defense to begin with is going to be absolutely important. And then you will also need entrenched data disc 1 or 2 or 3, how many you want to really equip on, because again you need to be able to sustain the opening waves. So in combination with 45 and entrenched, that will really help you even in sector 5 to sustain a lot of damage in beginning. Smash me for 3 stacks of Zealous Ambition there, just that we can really juice up the damage on support, because you will need it especially in sector 5. And then finally the last data disc set can be Vitality, to give you extra health and protection, because guess what, more health means more damage for your support and healers. Or Unbreakable data disc as well, if you don't have Vitality, is good. It also gives you a bit of a health boost, not as much as Vitality though, but it does give you boost in defense, which is nice. So this is the Overzealous data disc set. So let's just go ahead and jump in the battles now. I'll just highlight some of the teams that it works well with. So Bastila lead with Jedi, you start with protection up from her own lead, more protection up from entrenched, and then Old Ben, he's a pre-taunt. Whenever he's hit, then Shakti is gaining bonus turn meter. She can then call Yoda for an assist, and Yoda doing big damage. You lose Old Ben, you gain turn meter from his unique. Jolie can revive him, bring him back, then you finish the battle with a 3-star victory. Moving on, we got Padme. Padme's support here, so is their tech and echo, and obviously we got Anakin there for bonus turn. Whenever somebody falls too low, then Padme can get going and things like that. But as you can see, we got these things under control. General Kenobi with 200% defense, entrenched data discs, extra as well, their protection up from Padme. He's virtually unkillable pretty much with many opponents. Moving on, we got Rex lead. So with Rex lead you're gaining lots of bonus turn meter whenever you're critically hit. Then obviously Rex and Echo and Barris, they will be doing nice big damage because of Zealous Ambition, and Barris is there just a little bit for the healing in case you need to. So once you get going, your turn meter train rolling, Rex boosts turn meter on everybody. Echo is support, so his grenade will do a lot of damage. His grenade actually does more damage than basic. He's also assisting with his basic whenever your clones use basic ability, so more damage from him as well. So great team. Moving on, we got a droid team. Now if you do have a leveled up sword, maybe she will probably better lead than Rey Jedi training, because she adds extra defense for your droids, make them even more durable. My sortie still gear 8, so not all that useful versus many opponents, but still Rage Jedi training is good here. Once you get your turn meter train rolling, both their BB-8 and R2 are support, so they'll be doing a lot of damage. So they got 260k hit on a basic from R2 is absolutely devastating. There we go, finishing them off as well. Then moving on, we got troopers. All of these guys except Dark Trooper is support. Now you can maybe use Stark instead of Dark Trooper if you want for a full support lineup, but I'm just using Dark Trooper here for this battle. The good thing is about when your allies are getting hit, Piet is gaining bonus turn meter, so then he can get your turn meter train rolling. And that's it, boom, there we go. Look at all this damage all these support guys are doing, like 100k on basics without really too much Emperor strap stacked already. Dark Trooper is here really just for the show. He's not actually the one doing most damage, it's all these other guys, and down they go as well. So there you go, definitely Zealous Ambition here, juicing up troopers. Another Empire team, Palpatine lead. Once Mara gets a turn, it's game over. You will obviously need maybe Short Trooper for the pre-tone so he can take those initial attacks until Mara gets your turn meter train rolling. And then Thrawn, Tarkin, Palps, they're all support, so they'll be doing a lot of damage here. There we go, Short Trooper taking a beating, Mara getting a turn, and now we can get our turn meter train rolling. As you can see, Palps doing big hits here. We're doing like what, 150 on basics. Mara doing everything, calling Palps to assist, Palps doing big damage, AoE they're wiping a couple of Tuskens there as well. The next one is Hux lead. Now why Hux lead? This is especially good versus maybe a team that starts off with an AoE. They do an AoE, everybody counterattack, Hux, Phasma, First Order Officer, they're all support, so they're doing big damage. And First Order Executioner, when he critically hits, he feeds 10% turn meter to your team. So that's the general idea. Now Tuskens themselves, they don't have an AoE on themselves, so maybe not the best example, but hey, the reason why I'm showing all these Tusken battles because I need those Datacron materials, so while I'm recording different teams with this data this set, I'm just kind of going versus Tuskens here, but later on I'll switch to some of the other battles that I needed to freestar still. I was going back and freestarring some of the battles I didn't freestar before, but as you can see there, Hux is doing a lot of damage. There we go, 450k on a basic from Hux, absolutely ridiculous. Night Sisters are also a great team that work with Zealous Ambition data disks because they're Daka, Talzin and Asajj, they're all support slash healers, so they'll be doing a lot of damage. As you can see, we're burning for these guys like it's nobody's business, critting like for 200k. Daka, her basic deals damage twice, so potentially there you could do 400k damage to a target. Actually, Rogue One with Admiral Raddus has been an absolute revelation with this Zealous Ambition data this set. Now many of you will not have Raddus geared up, but for those of us that did go for Profundity already and do have him at Relic 9, he's an absolute beast. The only downside is that the actual Rogue One faction, they don't have a whole lot of support units, so here only Cassian and Admiral Raddus are actually support, so they'll be doing a lot of damage, especially AoEs from Raddus are very, very devastating, as you've seen there, just wiping off these guys from the board. There we go, just a casual 160k critical hit. Now speaking of wiping the board, Dash, funny enough, he's not an attacker, he's support. His AoE deals damage 3 times, so as soon as he gets a turn, he just wipes out the entire team. Obviously bringing here Best Carmando just in case we need the damage immunity on somebody, right? But on that, you just wait to get a turn here. At any moment now, boom! Bye bye Jedi, bye bye, no more. Same thing like with Traya here, again you can do some nice things as well. You may want to bring in Malak though, just so he can keep enemies under control. But Traya there, you know, she's got stacking offense herself whenever one of your Sith allies are there debuffed, so she'll be doing a lot of damage here. And we can keep these guys under control obviously as well with Fear and Isolation, but as you can see Traya, boom, basic 230k hits. It's definitely you know, running multiple stacks of Zealous Ambition together with 45 and Entrenched definitely, you know, gives you a lot of flexibility of the teams you want to use. And now for the second data this set that I like to call Stoneskin. The reason is because you start with a lot of defense, a lot of survivability, even more than with Overzealous data this set. So this one relies on your guys to be able to tank a lot of hits, and then as well with attacking out of turn they'll be stacking offense. So this will benefit teams that have a lot of attacks out of turn as well as critical hits. You will see once I go through the data this set. So again, fortified, a staple data this set as mentioned before, using unbreakable here because defense for this particular set is more important than the extra health and protection you would get from vitality. We need stacking fervor, so whenever we are attacking out of turns we are stacking offense. I wish that this would be more than 4%, like 4% is really small amount even with lots of attacks out of turn, so it really takes time that you build up damage. I wish this would be at least like 10%, then battles would be over much faster. Using entrenched data disc, 2 of them, just to make sure, you know, we can survive long enough until we stack up our offense, and then voluntary vanguard as well using in here, just that whoever is your most durable unit gets permanent mark on them until they are defeated, so then the enemy has to keep hitting them. And then as well critical formation is a key component here because every time you critical hit you recover 12% protection. So remember, whenever you attack out of turn, you are stacking offense, you're critting, you're recovering back. If you got somebody like maybe 5s or gas on them, they've got voluntary guard, enemy have to keep hitting them, they're constantly counter-attacking and critting and hitting and healing the whole team back up to full protection. So basically in most cases your guys all the time are at full health and protection because of this. Padme is a great team, but even without Zealous Ambition, because my Kenobi was low on stamina here, my Padme was actually the tankiest unit, so not the ideal situation. But as you can see, these guys can't do anything. We've got all this protection up and trench data disc thing going on, lots of defense, or adding more defense and survivability there because of Cat as well. Then Ahsoka, she's constantly attacking out of turns, juicing up your offense, critting, and then as well healing up protection on your whole team. Darth Revan, now Darth Revan itself, they don't have attacks out of turn really, but at least they have lots of critical hits, and obviously they have Malak. He gets mark on him and enemies have to keep hitting him like it's nobody's business, where then you're just going around here doing a lot of damage to these guys. So not really a whole lot of stacking offense on this one because they don't have attacks out of turn, but still the rest of the data disc really play nicely. As you can see, they can't do any progress whatsoever versus Malak. We are constantly healing up his protection there with the critical hits. So as mentioned before, Gas is absolutely great with stacking fervor and critical formation data disc set. They can't do anything to him as well. He's constantly counter-attacking, stacking offense on everybody, recovering protection on everybody whenever he's critically hitting. Same goes with 5s when they do an AoE, 5s counter attacks as well. So you can just pretty much auto play many opponents here with Gas just by using this Stoneskin data disc set. Moving on, we got Bounty Hunters. Now normally I would run Bosk lead because anyway you get extra defense from his lead as well, but because I needed to 3-star this Darth Revan team, I did go with Fennec lead because otherwise I would never get my contract off because they would just constantly be fearing everybody. That's why going with Fennec lead. Otherwise in most situations you will probably want Bosk lead there. You want to bring in Beskar Mando here just to make sure he puts damage immunity on Bosk when he gets below you know, low in health, so he doesn't die off. And there we go, making quick work out of these guys as well. Imperial Troopers next, they actually also work great with this Stoneskin data disc set, not just with Overzealous. You chuck in Stormtrooper, he gives extra defense, rise to Imperial Trooper, he's very durable, so just keep hitting him, he keeps healing up, so he's all the time topped up with full protection and health. And then the other guys gets a turn because Piet is gaining bonus turn meter whenever his allies are hit, and then you can get your turn meter train rolling. You daze the guys, they can't gain turn meter themselves, and then you just go ahead, finish them off, and there we go. Lots of attacks out of turn obviously with troopers, so you can quickly stack up offense. More attacks out of turn here with B1, he's constantly assisting, right? So again, helping you a little bit stack the offense. But yeah, General Grievous without Amplify-Gun is not as insane as before, but can still get the job done. Here maybe Imperial Trooper's not the best highlight of this data disc set. With Death Trooper, he put healing immunity on your Magna Guard, but otherwise you would constantly be able to heal up Magna Guard whenever you critically hit guys, especially with AoEs from Grievous, but still was able to pull through. Another Imperial trooper lineup with Iden as well works great, because with Iden you're constantly counter-attacking, which means more stacking offense for your guys. You're critically hitting, keep healing up. Maybe Magma Trooper here, it wasn't the best choice because he constantly is gaining a bonus turn meter when he's debuffed, and then eventually they stack up a lot of damage over times on him, so I almost lose him at some point. So maybe somebody again like Stormtrooper, Short Trooper would be a better choice, but I just want to show you that you can do this with kind of leftover troopers as well if you need to. And there we go, just finish him as well, and you know, doing some nice damage there. And speaking of attacks out of turn, Maul is great as well, obviously, because everybody call to assist whenever Maul uses an ability. You get your turn meter train rolling here with Watt and an AoE from Candyman, and then you can just go to town here with Maul. There we go, big hits, lots of stacking offense, although you know it doesn't look a whole lot, you know, doing 20k 30k, you know, remember this is sector 5, so these guys are quite durable. And there we go, we're constantly recovering health and protection because of critical formation data discs, so I was able to finish them off quite easily. Moving on, Beskar Mando here, I also want to highlight, maybe not the best team, but I just wanted to highlight the stacking offense, that you see how it works. Especially with Whistling Birds, you can see the stacking offense eventually coming up. We got IG and Nest here counter-attacking, so that's where stacking offense will be coming from. So just speeding up the footage, it takes a while versus these Scarf teams. There we go, so we can go ahead now, unleash the Whistling Birds, and you will see the damage. Boom, boom, boom. It was 15k there per Whistling Bird on Canderous. So you will then see by the time I get to another Whistling Bird there, the damage difference with the offense we stacked here. Okay, so here we go, let's go ahead and pop it, and let's go ahead and see the damage. Boom, boom. It was 19k there per Whistling Bird, so we went from 15 to 19k. Again, this is a nice stacking offense, but again, this 4% is just not, I think, high enough you know, to make these battles a lot faster. I really wish it would be like 10%. I think then, you know, this would be a lot more OP. Or maybe if you put two those data discs on, but I only have one to try out. More attacks out of turn, of course. Geos are great. You're getting so many attacks out of turn constantly, slowly juicing up your offense, critting as well, obviously recovering their protection in your guys. So definitely a good option here for your guys. Obviously, if you do have Relic Samphak, he most likely will be the tankiest. So he got Mark, 860k hit there on Kanan, and this is Sector 5 Fennec team. Just, you know, for reference, they're very durable. Was able to burn for them quite easily. Mothma is like Geos as well, lots of attacks out of turn. Here I needed more more Datacron material, so I went back to the Sector 4 Tusken node. And here we get Mark. They're constantly hitting Caro. That actually did get her down, but don't worry, we'll bring her back with Mothma in any minute now. There we go. And you will slowly see definitely like damage ramping up. Especially towards the end, you will see we'll be doing a lot of damage here, especially with Kyle. Even with attacks out of turn, he'll be doing big damage whenever he critically hits. So let's go ahead and have a look. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. 50k critical hit on attack out of turn with Mothma is pretty good. Again, I have a feeling this disc is quite good stacking forever, but doesn't feel quite broken like Amplify Agony, just because it's only 4% stacking offense, not like 10 or, you know, even more. Alright guys, that's all for today's video. Hope you find it useful and helpful, just highlighting two different data disc sets that I tried out. So the Overzealous, that relies on Zealous Ambition to really juice up the offense on your support and healers, and then the Stoneskin one, where it gives you lots of defense, entrench, lots of sort of ability, and then you use Voluntary Vanguard to, you know, make your tankiest character constantly taunt, and then you get attacks out of turn there for recovering protection, and as well crit formation as well. So, you know, hopefully whichever data this set you choose, you will definitely want to equip Fortified, so whenever you see it next time, it should be the first data disc I think on your list to pick up. Thank you for watching guys, I'll see you in the next one, but until then, have fun, enjoy your life, and may the RNG be with you, my friends.